Welcome everyone to the Starbucks Roastery here in Seattle, one of the original ones, and I'm going to do a sit down and try a cool raw Starbucks pizza, which is very interesting, and a Starbucks Cornetto, which is very Italian of them to include a Italian style croissant. I'm reading in this cool book. Secret Seattle is really cool. We're finding secrets in Seattle. I got myself a nice cup of water here at the Starbucks Roastery. Before, as I was filming the TikTok version of this, they went into the ceiling. So bit of the roastery before I sit down and try these out. So you So it is buffering here a little bit. Let me know if you see me now correctly. A few people have wanted to see the Starbucks Roastery, Reserve Roastery. So here I am for a nice taste test. Let me know if you see me and hear me correctly. I just switched over to 4G, and I'm gonna speak a little bit lower because a lot of people here behind me are working. Will you visit the Amazon or Microsoft office? I will be posting a video of the Amazon spheres, or the balls of Amazon. Okay, so let me know if you were able to hear the intro, but this is the Starbucks Reserve Roastery. I have a selection of 3 different espresso martinis. So this is an espresso martini flight, $22 for this, plus tax. And I got my pizza and the Cornetto, and this cost about $15. So yeah, it's a bit pricey. And you can also get yourself like a $15 cold brew as well if you want to go all out. And I got myself a cup of water, and I'm reading this book. But let me show you quickly the Reserve Roastery, and then I'll sit back down. So I'm going handheld, so don't mind me as it's a bit shaky. Sarah says $15 for a cup of water. No, it's just the food was $15. So here it is. Joe said $15 for one slice and the Cornetto. Yeah, a bit pricey. This one's huge. I think the New York one might be a little bit bigger, but this one definitely has a larger roaster. And they have the bar, which is the regular coffee bar. And they have another cocktail bar right behind it. So they also have a cocktail bar, which I got the drinks from around the corner. I'll be posting photos of it after this broadcast. And they also have pizza, and they have made-to-order avocado toast. They also have lasagna, which is so weird. And also they have a frittata too. So welcome everyone. And they have daycare for some of the rank workers, says Citadilla. Oh, that's so awesome to hear. Awesome to hear. Hello, Susie. Welcome. Nice to see you playing. So thank you all the patrons who we're about to halfway towards the goal, 200 patrons. So thank you so much, patrons, for patronizing in a good way. Thank you so much for your patronage. Patreon.com/urbanist. All right. So before I go into the cocktails, I'm gonna try the pizza. Now the reason I'm not walking around too much is because unfortunately Starbucks is really not a fan of people filming too much of the store. They won't mind this because I'm sitting down talking directly to you, but that's why it's a bit hard to walk around here unless if I were to ask for explicit permission beforehand. So we're mostly sitting down for this one. So let's try the pizza first and look at it. Theo, I won't get into the politics of Starbucks. Of course, Starbucks, as a big company, has its controversies and its share of complicated history. So yes, but we won't be discussing that today. We are just enjoying this as a good tourist attraction. Overall, Starbucks has done more good than harm. So keep that in mind. There's far worse companies out there in the world. Here is the mushroom pizza with the gigantic artichoke. Let's try it out. I'm pleasantly surprised by how good it is. It tastes typical to mix Roman style with the focaccia. So like the Genoese, which I didn't show my Italy trip, but the Genoese, Genoa, the other side of Venice, they have focaccia they're famous for, and they make this style pizza. So it tastes a little bit more like Genoese style pizza. But it's really good. It's just surprisingly, I thought it was going to be pretty terrible. It's pretty good. It does still have a little, but not as bad as a Sbarro or as a New York style slice shop. They also weirdly made it a little bit Detroit style with the cheese on the side. So in the Midwest of the US, specifically in Detroit, they and this is made fresh. So this is not like a frozen pizza or something like that. In the Midwest, they put so much cheese that they put cheese on the crust, and you have this crust with cheese. So weirdly, this is Detroit meets Roman meets Genoese. Weird combination. Let's have another bite. DS's Starbucks Ethiopian blend is pretty good. How much for a tall, regular black drip coffee? You'll be surprised how cheap the drip coffees are. $2.50. Not that expensive. That's surprisingly very good. Wow. All right. Now let's go on to the espresso martinis, shall we? George is a Folgers guy. Oh, cool. Totally not judging you, George. Totally not judging. So we have a spicy one with mole. Those are the three ones. A little bit more kind of. So let's try the cinnamon one first. I like this one. This espresso martini is espresso with usually with vodka and sugar. This one has a different type of liquor. It's very good. It feels like that perfect wintry taste to it. So I said tropical because of course these spices actually come from the tropics, but we associate them with winter spices. And yeah, it has that kind of wintry coziness feeling to it, which I really enjoy. This one's easy to drink. But before I continue, let's go for the spicy. So eRev, it says, does espresso martini have alcohol? Yep. espresso and alcohol. So wish me luck. It's 5 p.m. right now. And I'm drinking a lot of caffeine, a lot of alcohol. So wish me luck. Manny says, ¿cuál será el producto más vendido de Starbucks en todo el mundo? Manny, es una buena pregunta. Yo creo que es café. Más seguro es café. Manny asked, what's the most sold product by Starbucks in the world? Probably is coffee. Let's try this out. The spicy one. No cleansing of the palates between taste, says Rocky. Okay, Rocky. We shall indulge in the cleansing of the palates. Bear with me. There's a gentleman asking for money. There's someone asking for money inside. Just had to, just in case, be silent for a little bit. And pro tip, when you see people like this, street smarts, no judgment against anyone, but street smarts, don't be too confident. Okay? Don't be too confident. Keep your guard up. Don't be too confident. You don't owe anyone anything. Remember that. Alright, let's try this. A nice, spicy espresso martini. Yeah, this one has a kick. That one has a kick. I don't like this one too much. It's too spicy. Maddie said, Maddie's quoting me. You don't owe anyone anything. You don't owe anyone anything. This one's too spicy. I don't like it too much. Don't like it too much. So this one is supposed to be with mole. Has a little bit of kind of a jalapeno infused liquor taste to it. Too spicy for my flavor, for my taste. See, Tiguila says, I love spicy drinks. Yeah, let me know if you enjoy spicy drinks. They've never been my favorite. I just loved your video through the airport, says Leroy. Oh, I'm so glad. DS says, too spicy or too much alcohol? These all have the same amount of alcohol, but that spicy one tastes stronger. So that alcohol comes out more than the first one, where it feels a little bit more coffee forward. Now the lemony one. Ooh. This one's good. Lemon and coffee is something that is still a little bit hard for me to kind of wrap my head around, but I do love the combination. Italian style, this one. Ooh, I love this one. Yeah, more Italian style. So it has that lemony flavor. It's more of like a basic espresso martini, but just with a little bit more lemon. Really good. Yeah, I like it. My favorite one, espresso martinis are not the most complex drinks, but my favorite one is the first one. The one with cinnamon and nutmeg. Oh, that smells so good with cinnamon. Ooh, and chocolate shavings. This one also has chocolate shavings. Oh, that's so good. Wow. That's delicious. Tyrone says, have you ever had a buntanella? No, I never tried a buntanella. What is that? Do let me know. I don't think I would like spicy drinks at Chicago. Yeah, no, me neither. Cinnamon is great in coffee, says Albert. Yep, classic to do in Italy. ¿Se ofrece alcohol para venta en Starbucks? So Manny, para cualquier persona viendo en español, Manny asks, do they offer alcohol here? Sí, ellos ofrecen aquí alcohol. Todas estas bebidas son cócteles que tiene alcohol. Tiene vodka y diferentes tipos de licores. So, son bien buenos. Y hay varios cócteles clásicos también que no tienen café. So there's also some classic cocktails that don't have coffee. And yes, in this Starbucks, they do serve alcohol as well. That's what we're drinking right now. So Sarah says, what other cities would you like to visit? Stay tuned. What made you pick Seattle? I was just drawn by A, I really like the movie 10 Things I Hate About You. B, I was curious to see the home city of Starbucks. I have a soft spot for Starbucks. It was a coffee shop that really was a great clutch during college years and studying for endless hours. Starbucks were open late and they were plentiful in the city. So those were the two main reasons I came here. I admittedly didn't know too much about. I would say after being here a week, almost a week, Seattle's a city you can easily see in about 2 or 3 days if you don't intend to go out into nature and hiking and such. It's a city you can visit pretty quickly. Okay. You have a good day today. I was trying to do some work, but I was procrastinating. Video, Wendy. And as I was doing this work, I thought to myself, I just want to make videos. Like, I don't want to do any other work. So yeah, that was my day today. All right, you guys want to try this out? This is a Cornetto. This is an Italian style croissant. I showed this in Italy a few times. This one's stuffed with a hazelnut spread, which is basically Nutella. So, should we try it out? Let me know. Hey Sally, nice to see you here. Ibrahim says, I love Seattle. I hope to attend university there. Oh cool, Ibrahim. That's awesome. Well, chocolate Azteca has the Aztecs had chocolate, yes. Jack says, wherever you eat and enjoy, I want. Oh, cool. I'm glad to hear that. That's awesome to hear. And hey, Henlata. Thank you so much for the 200 stars. Joe, thank you so much for letting me know. Veronica says, cheers. Thank you so much. Angie says, fun. I wanted to check this place out. Yeah. If you're a tourist and enjoy Starbucks, you enjoy coffee, come over. If you enjoy cocktails, the cocktails are reasonably priced, so it won't break the bank here, at least compared to other cocktail bars. Atif says, hey man, when are you coming back to Brooklyn? I don't intend to cover too much more New York City in the near future. And Wendy says, do you go to the Quad campus? No, not yet. See the cherry trees? No, not yet. Hey, Susie and Kay, nice to see you here. And Emily says, thank you so much for showing Starbucks. I'm not a tourist, but I live in the suburbs. Yes, I mean, I for locals and tourists alike, this is worth a visit if you haven't been here yet. Sarah says, can you visit Ladybug Bikini Espresso? It's a topless coffee bar. No, Sarah. That would not be viable on video. Susie says, that makes me very sad. Oh no. Don't worry, plenty of amazing New York content creators. Have you ever flown to Jerusalem? No. Is this the Starbucks that you said is bigger than the one in New York City? Katya, no. This one, the roaster itself is bigger. So the roasting facility is bigger than the one in New York. It's huge. Let's see. But the actual space, I think the New York one is bigger. The Milan one that I went to as well was pretty big too. Bit of a wander says. Sarah says, will you do a hotel visit tour? Yes, most likely I will. At the end of my trip. So a lot of people are saying the biggest one is Chicago. So, you guys want me to try this, or should I just leave it on the table? Let me know. Should I try it? Just let it be. The Tokyo one is also very big. Thank you so much for the wander. What did you do exciting today, says Sally? Not too much. Not too much. drink coffee and sit on the laptop. If you like Vietnamese coffee, I heard there's good ones in the International District. Keep that in mind. Fila says, must try it. Katya says, try it. All right. That's very good. Wow. Starbucks doesn't pull any punches here in their roastery. Really good. So very well layered. I thought this was going to be bad as well. Not bad, but I thought it was going to be like mediocre. But very well layered. It doesn't have too much Nutella. That's the only downside. It advertises as being a Nutella Cornetto, but only has a little blip of Nutella on top. What's the difference between a Cornetto and a croissant? The difference is it's a bit more thicker in consistency. Croissant is a bit more lighter and flakier, more airy. You see how much bread there is in here? Croissant would have less. But I'm surprised. I'm really shocked that this is really good. Wow. That's really good. Am I at Starbucks right now? Snap some Italian bakers and bring them over here. What did they do here? It's something. There's something's fishy happening here at Starbucks. It's too good. That was too good. That and the pizza. Something weird is happening. With a little bit more. What category does this meal fall into? It's a snack. It's a glorified snack, Rocky. A glorified snack. That's what it is. Katya says it was imported. I think so. I think it might have been imported. That was really good. I'm genuinely shocked. So, are you going to the Museum of Pop Culture? Is it worth it? Let me know, Robert. Let me know. I don't find myself too enthused to go to museums, to be honest. Myself, like personally. Let me know if anyone has ever felt the same. Because I think once you visit a few museums, you kind of seen them all. There's a few iconic museums out there in the world that are must visits, but sometimes when I go to a new city, I'm like, museums are kind of lower priority. See, Julia says this was a snack with a low buzz. Oh yeah, snack with a low buzz. Oh yeah. All right, so feel free to ask me anything about Seattle trip thus far. I've been here for 1 week. Feel free to ask me anything about Seattle. Latif says a lot homeless. Yeah, Latif, unfortunately, that is the case. There is a lot of homeless in Seattle. It's a little bit worse than New York in the sense that there's people living in tent cities. And as with New York, a large portion of the homeless are mentally ill and or doing hard drugs. So yeah, it is a bit sad. There seems to be more centralized in specific areas, more so in the downtown area around 3rd Avenue. But today I had a very unpleasant run-in with a homeless person, which is unfortunate. So that's why I mentioned street smarts. Always be on your guard. Don't be too confident. Confidence is trust is always a two-way street. ¿En qué parte de Seattle se encuentra donde apareció la vida de Kurt Cobain? No sé exactamente. Entonces tengo que buscar esa información, pues no sé dónde está Kurt Cobain en Seattle. Tengo que buscar después. I don't know where Kurt Cobain is. What do you think of the Seattle skyline? It is nice. It is a nice skyline. Yeah, it's a nice skyline. I'm surprised by how many skyscrapers there are. What's really shocking about Seattle is it is a very beautiful city, and it's very clean. But I'm shocked that there's these big skyscrapers, way bigger than the majority of U.S. cities. I mean, I think the skyline here is bigger than the one in Boston, if I'm correct. And of course, it's bigger than Washington, D.C. because Washington, D.C. does not allow skyscrapers. So, that said, having a skyline and 4 million people in the metropolitan area, it's so empty. It is so empty, the downtown area, which is such a shame. So someone asked what happened with the run-in with a homeless person. Yeah, someone was trying to stop me asking for something. It was either for money or for directions. I said no, continue walking away, and the person continued to stop and help them. And I said no, continue walking away, and then they were following me. And I stopped and I was like, no. And then that person said, have you ever been pepper sprayed? And the person was acting very nervous. So I didn't feel that threatened. The person wasn't particularly a large person, so I didn't feel that threatened, but it was very odd. So I just started running away to see if that person would actually be chasing me. Lo and behold, they did not chase me. So I was able to walk away. But it was very weird. Yeah, someone harassed me for like a few minutes, and then I saw them harass someone else a little bit afterwards as I was walking away. Sally says it is very strange. Yeah, for such a prominent city, it's such an empty city. Dwayne says you have to be very careful. Yes, you do. Yeah. Cindy says, oh no, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Well, it's okay. I mean, being from New York, I'm used to having weird run-ins like that. But it would be a shock to many Europeans because that really doesn't happen in Europe. Or it's very rare, at least. At least many parts of Western Europe I've been to. Alan says it wasn't empty until COVID hit. So I'm very curious because, yes, thank you so much, Angie, Sally, local Seattleites, for letting me know a little bit more about the information of Seattle and COVID. It seemed like Seattle took COVID very seriously, and Washington in general took COVID very seriously, and the restrictions were very strict. And then beyond that, many of the largest employers in the Seattle area, Microsoft and a few others, went work from home way earlier than even New York companies or companies in other major cities like San Francisco. And also combined with the fact that a lot of people actually don't live in the middle of Seattle. A lot of the people who work for those companies live in suburban areas or live in the satellite cities of Seattle, like Bellevue. And also it's a very car-dependent area outside of Seattle. So all that said, apparently that has deeply affected Seattle vibrant city. Adam says, I try not to help homeless because I do not like to be harassed, as Adam. Yes, you have to, it's all your own personal choice, but do beware that in some cities, like Seattle, where the people who are drink, what are you going to eat or drink now? I basically already ate or drank. It's enough coffee cocktails for me. So happy you're getting nice weather. Oh yeah, it's always sunny in Seattle. I'm so happy that it's been sunny every single day I've been here. I've barely seen rain. Look at this. Sunniness, ladies and gentlemen. En Canadá, una opción de tu agrado visitar. Many ask, do you intend on visiting Canada? Ahora mismo no tengo la intención de visitar Canadá, pero me gustaría, estoy curioso en el futuro. So it's not my intention to visit Canada right now, but I would be curious to visit in the future. Did you decide if you're going to visit Mount Rainier? I'm not entirely sure. It's very snowy up there. Ibrahim says it rains more than in New York than Seattle. I think Seattle has more rain on average than New York. I think this week has just been a very lucky week. Irene says, when are you leaving Seattle? I'm not sure. I mean, I plan through early next week, but I'm contemplating covering another city. I'll ask all of you right now, what do you think? Do you think I should visit another city? If I can do it, you know, if I can do it within budget. I mean, I already intend on covering a city the week after next week. So next week I'll be in another city. But I'm not sure whether to go to a different city beforehand for this weekend. So let me know what you vote for. Should I go to a different city for this weekend's live videos? Veronica says if you're homesick. I'm not homesick. I don't want to go back to New York, but I like Seattle, but I feel like I feel like I've shown you most of what is that I find compelling to show you. George says, I thought Seattle had London weather. I thought too, yeah. Dolores says, Portland, Oregon, perhaps? Courtney says, yes, San Francisco. As I said, Bellevue and Edmond would have liked it. It's very beautiful. Rocky says, Tacoma has a nice mini mall. Bellevue does not seem walkable. I did some research. Bellevue does not seem like a nice area to walk around. It seems like very wide stroads, which are very wide roads. So Bellevue did not seem too interesting to walk around. Is there a main area, walkable area in Edmond? Mater says, with that statement, I say yes, it's time to move on. Courtney says, I know of another place that starts with new that you need to visit, but it's 18 hours away. Where are you referring to? 18 hours away? Where are you referring to? New Zealand? Oh. That'll be cool. I hope New Zealand opens up. So Wendy says, Edmonds, yes, you can bus over to Edmonds and it is walkable. Cool, okay, thank you. Angie says there's no reason to go to Bellevue or Edmonds for Ariel. Yeah, so we have a lot of mixed opinions amongst the local Washingtonians. Pat says Bellevue's not so interesting. There's an underrated Japanese garden in Spokane, says Adam. Okay. Wendy says, yes, Edmonds is a cute downtown, really pretty town. Rick Steve's home. It's cool that it's within bus distance. That's nice. Bellevue's more corporate. That's what I saw when looking at Google Maps. Al says, stop at the Grand Canyon before you visit NYC. Sally says, I think you would like Edmonds, down by the water. Okay, cool. Thank you everyone for your thoughts. I appreciate that. Joe, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you, Joe. Have a good night. Are you going to Portlandia after Seattle? Says Alder. I'm tempted. I'm tempted to go to a different city. Okay, everyone. Feel free to ask me any last remaining questions. Thank you so much for tuning in and saying hello, and I hope you enjoyed this Starbucks Reserve Roastery. I'll be posting a little bit more photos of it so you can see how it looks like inside, and a short video will be posted also on TikTok and Facebook. So Veronica says that I miss your live in Seattle Chinatown. I did not cover Seattle's Chinatown. It's only like 2 or 3 blocks. It isn't that much. There's not that much to see in Seattle Chinatown. thing is with live videos, it's more fascinating when there's more stuff to see while walking. And from my perspective, Seattle is a bit tricky. It doesn't have too much of that. Thank you for the 2 days pop-up. And when are you going to San Juan, Puerto Rico? Maybe in the near future. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. Some great fall there. Yes. Yeah, that is true. That's smaller than DC's then. Yeah, the Chinatown is a little bit too small. Cynthia says Seattle's Chinatown is too close to the homeless area. It is, yeah. It is, unfortunately. The International District isn't as picturesque, says Angie. That's picturesque. Yeah, there was. I went to one good restaurant there called Dozo, but yeah, too picturesque. Is Seattle a dying city, you would say? Mario, that's a great question. I'll finish off with that question. Throughout history, some of the biggest cities in the world have thrived and died. And thrived again and died again. Humanity has been living in cities for most of its written history. 5,000 years, we started written history in major cities. We're multi-millions starting 2,000 years ago. Ancient Rome and the cities of ancient China, and then ancient India as well. And then London was a major city since the 1600s, or earlier, 1400s, 1500s. So cities have been big for a while. And Rome, for example, went from 2 million plus people to 100,000 people in the course of like 300-400 years. And then it rose again. And now, Rome has a nearly like 4 million people metropolitan area. It's big. New York has a shorter history, about maybe since the 1600s. So late 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, 1900s. 4 centuries. New York rose up, and then by the late 60s and the 70s, it went back down. It took nearly, and by the 1990s, it started coming back again. So cities do have a life cycle. They have ebbs and flows. And I fear if America does not change with mass transit, with the way that wealth amongst companies and employees and businesses and organizations is spread out, if it doesn't do that, and if it doesn't stop the focus on cars and starts focusing on mass transit, if we don't do that, we're headed for disaster. 1970s New York might come again, and Seattle might be one of those cities like 70s New York, cities around the US, San Francisco as well. We need to change very quickly. We need to build more transit in the cities. I think that's one of the key things is transit. We don't have enough transit. And the moment we start doing that, at least that one thing first, and densifying our cities, enough with the single family homes in big cities like San Francisco or New York, and start building homes that more people can live. Lower class, middle class, higher class, all classes. We need more homes for all classes. If we do that here in American cities, we can avoid Seattle dying, New York dying. And we'll come back. But I wish we wouldn't need to let it die first. So I hope we do something. Ibrahim says, European cities discourage car use and their cities are thriving. Yes. yes, the cities that are not car-centric are the cities that will thrive in the 21st century. It's just the fact that we have learned that in the past 100 years in the US. It's very evident that car-centric cities don't work. Cities are important because A, they're economic engines for industry, for commerce, for finance, and for art. They're economic engines. You can't have no cities. It's rather foolish thinking that we can live in a rural society. It's already too late for that, for humanity, I think. So cities are necessary, and then beyond cities being necessary, we need to have cities that are walkable so those economic engines can flourish. They don't flourish in car-centric cities. They don't. It's becoming very clear here in America. So once we change that, hopefully Seattle will not be a dying city. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Keep being awesome, and always keep on exploring. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.